probably be coming into this best-of-5 series with a little bit more behind them as well. Because after seeing some slow starts in their group stage matches, I think that now is a time that they really want to be able to shore up their playstyle, moving towards the group stage, which is where the challenge really begins.
Yeah, and Damwon has already stated they feel like play-in has helped them at the World Championship. They have looked like they've warmed up in every subsequent game, as we see a big yawn right on the stage. This is the first game of the day, of course. But when I'm going to be watching these games, I'm going to be paying very close attention to the first 10 or 15 minutes, because I think that's where Loki would have their biggest opportunity to make a splash. If they don't smash Damwon before Damwon hits that 20 to 25-minute mark, I feel like they lose. So Loki has to focus heavily on trying to get early game champions they can get a lot of kills with, and maybe punish Damwon for some of that splitting of the early game that they seem to do.
Well, let's see what happens here as we get into Champion Select for game number 1 of this best-of-5 series. Renekton and LeBlanc banned away from Damwon on Loki's side, and the Pantheon to be removed, of course, with the Elise alongside it. See what Loki decides to take away next, and the Xayah that has been rising to such prevalence here at the play-in stage will be taken off the board. Yuumi available, a few picks that are still pretty strong that are left on the board, Jack.
Yeah, and Qiyana's the one that jumps to mind for me as well, because the games where Qiyana was actually falling through the pick and ban phase was the low-key versus AHQ games, and this is something that Showmaker hasn't been able to get his hands on yet in this play-in stage. So I think it's a very conscious decision for Damwon to not ban the Qiyana, knowing Loki hasn't played it, and the fact that it's fallen through that pick and ban phase, so that they can kind of just pick it up at their leisure.
And they're also rolling the Akali dice here as well. I mean, 3 out of the 4 games that Artifact has played has been on that Akali. He's shown some pretty impressive stuff on it as well, as the cat in the book is locked in here for Nuguri. That'll be going into Beryl's hands once again. Not going to be paired up with the Xayah, which was so incredibly powerful, but now we're staring down the barrel of an Akali that can be flexed towards either Nuguri or Showmaker, but Showmaker has probably been the best in the world on this champion, so we'll see if Nuguri gets his chance to try and shine or not.
Yeah, there's a chance that they flex that pick if they still decide to go with the physical damage solo laner like the Qiyana, but I can also see Artifact just happily going towards the Tristana, even though Artifact did play 3 of his 4 group stage games on the Akali. His most kills were on the Tristana in that one game. So I think that Trist is actually going to be Tristana mid rather than Tristana bot for Celebrity.
Yep. Syndra has been banned away, and speaking of Celebrity, actually he's the one that's been playing the most of the Syndra, as Shen just straight up locked in. A flex pick in his own right, but I like him a little bit more in support, especially if you're going up against Nuguri. Oh, that's Garen.
Garen Yuumi. Nice. Nice. Atlas, you and I were talking right before this about the fact that we had 74 unique champions picked in just the play-in groups alone, and we were saying, okay, which ones are most likely to start making it? And we said, well, someone's going to play Garen Yuumi. Yep. It's going to happen eventually.
And now Shen's in as well, I believe, so we're up to 76.
Was Shen actually unpicked in the entire play-in phase?
I think it may have been.
If it's 76 or 75.
I can actually
and a Vayne ban, that was also not picked or banned.
Hey,
so we're just racking up the unique business.
Well, Damwon desperate for a little bit of range, if that is going to be the Garen Yuumi on the bottom side of the map. We'll see where we make up for it, as our Showmaker could, of course, go for something in the mid lane if he wants to, and Nuguri has a plethora of different options, as Caitlyn being banned away also. What's going to augment this Olaf ban on Loki's side is the next question. Looks like they're targeting Canyon, and they're going to continue down that route, as the Lee Sin is off the board. Still plenty in his wheelhouse, though, and I just want to see Karthus. I just want to see Karthus locked in. Canyon is so good at Karthus. You know, I've been a bit outspoken against Canyon and his impact in this team, but when he plays Karthus, he is the hard carry. His skittles are targeted. And Qiyana is going to be the next lock-in here, so could be Showmakers, could be Canyons here as well.
They can flex those picks up towards the top or the bot lane. If the Shen ends up going top lane and it's not a Shen support, I would actually expect the Akali to go top and the Qiyana to go mid. I think Qiyana can beat the Shen in lane, but I think Akali would just be much, much better.
Well, we'll see where they do decide to go, as that looks like a Twisted Fate.
Bring on the globals.
Yeah, we're ticking down, and Shiel showed us that the Twisted Fate works extraordinarily well to get these early to mid-game compositions rolling. It could be a great way to attack this Damwon Gaming squad if they can get around this map. Woo! And Ornn being considered. Damn, how many unique picks do we need? This was another one we were going over, Jack.
Yeah, I would like to officially update the unique picks ticker.
Yeah. Like 79?
Stat request, Jeff for stats, please. I don't know exactly, but they will tell me soon. Oh, man.
I can help you out here if you would like.
You can't draw circles until you're in the game.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Sorry. I should have allowed you to do the circles. Is Vladimir going to be picked up last pick?
Hold on a hot second. I've been talking about Kiana in the solo lane.
Yeah.
It's in the jungle, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. I mentioned that earlier, so it's okay, Chad. I got you back. We're totally fine.
To what you say more.
I mean, we're not listening to me worked out with Papa Smithy for quite a few years, so I think we're going to be okay. As Nuggery is the only champion that has ranged auto attacks other than the cat that wants to sit inside other champions for most of the time. So Damwon going to be playing very up close and personal League of Legends, whereas Low-Key have set themselves up a really nice front-to-back, pretty comfortable team composition. Yeah,
I mean, just looking at really both of these team compositions does speak fairly to how the teams want to play. I'm just going to ignore the Garen Yuumi for now and just talk about the other 8 champions, because Loki actually said before the tournament the way they play League of Legends is different than most teams, where they actually just prioritize kills on the enemy team and then they just win because they're stronger, rather than trying to play this split push or objective focused game. And I think Damwon is a team who probably does more split push than anyone else. So I think it's very deliberate by Low-Key Esports to pick so many globals, so much hard engage, because if they ever see a 5v3 or even a 5v4 opportunity, Low-Key kind of has to be forced into action, and they're trying to get as many tools as possible to do so.
Well, I like that they do have some late game insurance as well, with how easy their composition is to sort of execute in that later stage of the game, and I think ease of execution is very good in early games in best of 5. Because if you get to just sort of sit back, play your laning phase right, understanding that your late game is pretty easy to navigate through, can certainly help out with those nerves. But speaking of which, let's get into game number 1, Damwon versus Low-Key Esports.
All right, we obviously know that Damwon Gaming is coming in as massive favorites in this one, but it is an interesting draft we have to start this off, watching the Garen Yuumi make its Worlds debut. Now, this is a pick that ended up getting a lot of priority over in the LEC, but we're going to stop talking about that for now, because there might be a level 1 thing.
Can we talk about the cull start for Nuggery?
Has he done that in the
Nope. No, this is a first. So we know that the guy, he likes his investments, right? He plays Nomad's Medallion Vlad with Kleptomancy. Now he's got Klepto Vlad Cullstart. That's that's a new one.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we might see level 1, so we'll get into that in a bit.
Well, immediately the pull has to be taken, and Nuggery straight down to it, and the flash is just going to be ignored. Venus now going to be without that one for the next little while, but it looks like Low-Key Esports are going to be able to steal away the red buff to start this one off.
Okay, I would love to see a pro view replay of Nuggery in that moment. Because
did he skill up and then pull immediately?
Because it felt like the Shen came from Fog and immediately taunt flashed. If he actually leveled that W up to pool, I'd be extremely impressed.
And now he's pretty happy to have
He still has the pool. Don't go up to taunt him. But we are also seeing the Low-Key lane swap, by the way. This is something they had done in the VCS. You want to catch people off guard for it, and who better to do it against than Yuumi, who is a very poor early game roamer. So they're trying to punish the very greedy Vladimir start, and they also got in to take pool. So let's see how practiced Damwon is in responding to this stuff. The reason you don't see lane swaps anymore is because of the early fortification on the bottom turret. These plates are actually much easier to take in the early game than the top lane plates, but Damwon also doesn't have an AD carry to do so, so I want to see how this plays out.
It might be easier for Garen to do turret damage, though, if there's only one opponent, and especially if it is an Ornn that's trying to struggle through a 1v2 scenario. DNK continues on the enemy side of the map, taking the Krugs here, as Celebrity and Venus are pushing towards this turret. I like that you mention it, because they do have the Demolish as Nuggery. I mean, he's going to be late on the pull this time around, but he wants to try and at least get out some sort of kill, but that's 2 turret shots taken by DNK. Celebrity even takes a cheeky one as Nogari's just waiting for that pool to come back up.
Well, he
Great flash out of the way of the rocket jump, and Celebrity somehow navigates it. So first blood going over to Loki Esports, but that was a tough one.
And Nogari got so many summoner spells and so much health bar off of Loki, he can just teleport back without losing that much experience. So yes, the first blood does go down on Tristana, but I don't actually feel like Nogari loses that much. Normally, in the 1v3 turret type situation, Nogari shouldn't even be there. You should not be sticking around 1v3 for those early game dives, but he thought he'd be able to outplay it hard enough to make it worth it, and arguably, he kind of did.
Yeah, I mean, who's further behind? Hani or Nogari at the moment, and it does look like 1 CS is going to be the difference makers. Let's have a look at it. Holds onto the pool this time for a little bit longer.
Yeah, so he's also, while trying to stay alive, trying to get as much damage down as possible. Notice how he waits on his empowered Q until it's just about to wear out. But ultimately, they do have the Ignite. They know his pool is down. He did actually flash the rocket jump and dodge the body slam from DNK, but that just kind of goes to show the number of things that have to go wrong in an early game turret dive to not get a kill.
Certainly a lot he needed to be thinking about there, as we've got some 2-man jungling coming down once again. Looks like the Shen and Gragas best friends crew moving back towards the top side. As if at first you succeed, I guess you should even more try again, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, just looking at the way this early game is going compared to how you'd think it would go in a standard game, like so far things haven't been a disaster for Loki. The question will be whether or not the Ornn can live through this 3-man attempt.
Well, if we're looking for this one, as the slow, thankfully, down to 20%, says Hani. Gets back towards his inner turret, and I really like this lane swap scenario for Loki, because if you have a look at where their damage comes from, it doesn't come from Hani.
Yeah.
In any game. I mean, this guy averages 17% for his team.
Yeah, and so that's on champions like Gangplank, Kled,
Camille.
Yeah, well, high utility champions.
They don't do very much damage, not these ones. No. Well, not in Hani's hands anyway. It's mostly the 31% damage share that good old Artifact has that allows them to get over the line in their victories. So may as well just put him under the bus and see whether they can put Nogari behind. And he's down bottom side, and they're eating through all of these plates. DNK walks over a ward, and it looks like the back away is coming in here as Hani gets finally a few extra farm, but Nogari moving down does mean that he misses out on a lot here.
Yeah. Really, though, this is an early game win for Loki, because Damwon has definitely been really slow in their response to this. Basically, if a team is just going to send people top lane into your fortified turrets, you just send the same number of people bot lane and kill the turret faster. Like, that's the way you do it. However, because the Garen Yuumi haven't been good at killing turrets, and because of the Tristana on the other side, not only did Loki get the first blood, they also got as many plays as possible. So in many ways, Damwon is failing in the way they respond to this lane swap.
Hasn't worked out so far, but they haven't taken the outer turret on the top side of the map. That bottom outer is very, very low, with that one plate still remaining. DNK going to head back home, does already have his keystone activated, as we were having this conversation earlier, Ender, part of his rant at the very beginning where a lot of the real stuff was happening.
Yeah.
He did mention the Dark Harvest versus the Predator. We do have a Predator on the Gragas this time out.
Yeah, they actually did like half the stuff.
Yeah.
Suggesting. Take Predator instead of Dark Harvest, lane swap
Someone
on them.
check the monitors.
Yeah. Tricked them into Pantheon, that one didn't work out.
That's another pull very early there from Nogari as the flash comes in. The taunt's good, and he's just dead once again. Celebrity locks down the kill comfortably. Venus has been all over this map, and it's to the detriment of Nogari almost every time.
Yeah, and Celebrity's going to end up getting very fed off this. Not only has he been able to pick up 2 kills, he's getting the majority of these turret plates, and now that they've actually swapped back, this is actually exactly where Damwon wouldn't want to be swapped in the top lane. They would want to be in the 2v2 in the bottom, because now they're just going to be giving free turret plate gold to Tristana.
Yep, now they don't have the teleport available either, as Hani's up here on the top side of the map feeling very comfortable. Nogari's just going to run as fast as he can back towards this lane, but you can see the explosive charge working out very well here for Celebrity. He might be able to even grab the next plate from this turret also. Showmaker has been very quiet from the mid lane, did make a 1 roam earlier on in this game, but otherwise not to be able to find too much there, and Nogari already getting a bit chunked underneath this turret. Celebrity happy in this 1v1.
Yeah, and the more we see this, the more it seems like Damwon is clearly caught completely by surprise by this lane swap by Low Key.
Yeah.
Hey, the call start does tell you that Nagari was just hoping to lane against a hapless Spellbook Ornn. Right? That he's just going to be able to farm for gold, easily complete his cull, but instead he started himself with less base health than he could if he would have done basically any other item. So yeah, he's feeling the brunt of it right now. Lowest gold in the game. That is something we haven't seen yet at Worlds 8 minutes into the game.
Yeah. Probably something that we've never seen even in this
Look at
season
Celebrity's
of the
gold.
LCK.
5K on the Tristana.
Is this a funnel composition?
I mean, if you're able to funnel your Trist 9 plates before 8 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. This is the new age funnel.
Just lane swap and hope the other team has Garen Yuumi and they don't match. It's easy.
Yeah, easy. I mean, I think this was on Ender's list. It was just somewhere after please stop, please stop. Something like that. But this is only the early game, guys. 2,000 gold is what Low-Key Esports have been able to draw out of Damwon, and they are still going to have the inside track onto this Infernal Drake, which is going to spell even more bad news if this game goes any longer than past the mid-game. That's where Low-Key play for. They like playing for the kills.
Yeah.
So far, so good for Low-Key Esports, and whether they can find these mid-game fights is going to be the question mark here, because they're moving Celebrity all the way around this map, and he's a one-man demolition crew.
Yeah, I mean, Low-Key doesn't have strong mid and late game macro, but if you script out a lane swap early game, you can still do it very well. And the fact that no one does this anymore does mean you can catch people by surprise with it, and that's what we're seeing happening. But it does bring up that overall question we're going to have throughout this whole series of how much do we really care about the early game?
Yeah,
right?
well.
And I think this game is going to be something that tells us here. VCS 0-8 all-time against the LCK. Damwon actually not that great at the first 10 minutes of the game, but then dominate you between 20 and 30 minutes. How much of a hole can they actually be in to have it not matter? Because a 3,500 gold lead at 10 minutes is really big by World's game standards.
But is it big by Damwon game standards is the question. As Shelly is going to be taken down, this is Low-Key Esports just investing into picking up as much global gold as possible, because this is crazy. There's already been 2 turrets taken, and the plates haven't even fallen down. We've still got
they're going to break
3.5 minutes.
All 15 plates. They're likely going to break all 15 plates before 14 minutes, maybe even before 12. This is actually such an efficient and good early game from Low-Key. There's a chance Damwon would be forced into a fight, but they don't want to fight the Trist right now with Nagari just going for more gold items. I don't know if it's the best item choice here by Vlad.
He already has the...
They're going for the flank. They're trying it. This could be good for Low-Key.
Exactly right. So we can dive in towards the backside. Good double stun to start this one off. As we do have the Ornn horn blown, it's headed straight towards the Kiana, but it doesn't actually matter. The Trist already taken down. A 1-for-1 so far as Showmaker now dancing around the back. He can go back to Venus as well, setting himself up the kills. The double comes in, and Damwon may have just turned it around already.
Didn't quite see how Celebrity died with his flash and ult up, but that has to be the most critical moment of this fight, because then at the end, Showmaker was able to just kind of style on Low-Key. By all means, that's exactly the fight Low-Key wanted. They were just unable to execute.
Well, really cute double knock-up there, but the stopwatch is going to be enough. As Nuclear now looking for Hani. Celebrity is teleported in. Good slow comes forward, and he just needs one more clean. That's going to be it. The rocket jump and the Goomba Stompers barrel. One more auto attack. Triple kill for Celebrity. And Low-Key back on top again.
7,800 gold, 12 minutes in on Tristana?
That sounds all right.
I'm going to say that's the most gold the player has had at this World Championship at 12 minutes, and he's going to get more plates for himself and another turret. DNK, back off. Just give him the solo turret gold.
Give him the solo turret gold. We need this for
He does.
Oh, no.
He did. That was an extra 460 for Celebrity. He's now at 8,500 gold. 12 and a half minutes in. That's a problem for Damwon.
Yeah, I think Damwon know who's the carry's going to be as we move into the rest of this game. We'll have a look at this dive. It was just Damwon staying a little bit longer than they should have.
Yeah, Nuclear gets taken very low. Showmaker was still kind of sticking around in that 20% slow instead of a higher percentage slow, and the fact that it was a low-health Yuumi inside a low-health Akali just allows the Trist to go to town.
Yep. Arcee and the crew feeling pretty good about how Loki's done in this early stage. And I'm glad that we got the total gold graph back. Everybody else sitting at about half of what Celebrity has.
Celebrity has 3,500 more gold than the next highest gold player in the game.
Yep.
He has more gold. Well, it's close. The math is wrong on this, so don't pretend that I'm trying to do math on stream. But it's close to having more gold. Like, add the second richest person on Loki and Nogary, and then you have Celebrity right now.
God.
That's how much gold he has on Trist early game.
And that's how little gold Nogary has this game. Because normally, right, he is put behind. He's often sitting 0-2 like this, but that farm number is often much higher
I was just
than it
waiting
is
in base
this
for
game.
something. Okay, he has an NLR.
Yeah, that's a big stick. Goes, it's full build. Still made it to full build, Jet. It's totally fine.
He hasn't upgraded his boots for his CDR.
Oh, that's true. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're still one item away.
Yeah.
That combined cost though, like that.
But once you get to 6 items, you're really done.
Yeah.
That's the...
Vladimir is the late game champion. You need to get those 6 items. First turret for Dam1 does go down. It's going to alleviate some of the global gold issues that they're having. 3,000 going to be that lead, but the alleviation I was telling you about is only going to be short-lived as this inner turret is going to get obliterated. Celebrity turns up and says, no, all of your base is belong to me. Nuclear coming on down, but remember there is absolutely no range on this Dam1 comp. If they can't close distance onto the Trist, they all just die.
Showmaker is level 11 right now, though, but also a stopwatch being picked up by Celebrity, so I think Dam1's going to try and fight here over the Mountain Drake.
Teleport to come in here, flanking positions from Loki is the Buster Shot already used. Mountain Drake does get taken here for Loki's side, but can actually win the fight. Supreme Display of Talent comes down. The Hemoblade is pretty decent as well. Canyon off to the side, the Garen spinning, but is he winning is the real question. Atani is so incredibly tanky in the front line, and Canyon jumps forward and dies as an afterthought. Celebrity so big, another round of resets, a triple kill for the Trist, and Loki may have just set themselves up for game 1.
In fact, this is why we play the games. Because these types of things can happen. Watching this fight one more time, all of Loki's team composition is about these mid-game team fights. They have the gold exactly where they want, and their strategy, they use the TF ult right at the start so that Akali and Kiana can't go invisible during the duration of the fight. So they actually burst out the Akali as quickly as possible. The Shroud is useless with the TF ultimate thanks to the fairly recent changes, and then Celebrity does use that stopwatch to buy enough time that he can jump in at the end to clean up kills yet again. So if this were 20 minutes, they would have gone straight to Baron. It's just not.
It's not.
He has the 20-minute items.
Baron isn't going to be here for another 4 minutes, Jay. You got to slow down. Definitely got to slow down. 6,000 gold is the lead.
Celebrity has enough gold that he can go back to base and full buy a Phantom Dancer.
Yeah.
So that's a
Perfectly as
16-minute, 11,000 gold Trist. Cannot emphasize, he has double the gold of his top laner.
Yeah. He's got a 5,000 gold lead over Nuclear.
This is a team effort. It's not just like, wow, Celebrity is amazing. No, it's the fact that he got every turret plate.
It's a funnel comp.
All of the solo golds.
It's just straight up a funnel comp.
And then the fact that Dam1 did the Garen Yuumi straight into it, which is like, I feel like lane swapping's dream. That the other team can't have a good sieger early on in the game to punish the bottom lane. And then add that to the fact that we have
Vladimir in the early game.
Breedmaster Nogary clicking Cull Vladimir Klepto and then trying to outplay a 1v3 turret dive. Like,
yeah, Ebenezer Scrooge on the top side of the map. Yep. He's certainly trying to make as much money as possible, but not being able to do it this time around.
At least his Cull will complete in 10 more CS.
That's true.
I mean, it's really paying off.
Maybe that's the turnaround.
The thing is, it might be.
Yeah,
it still
I
might be.
And I was like, oh, damn, have I just jinxed Loki Esports? Well, they're still making moves. They're now towards the top side of the map looking for even more of this global gold, and they have a Mountain Drake, Chad. They have more ability to destroy these neutral objectives as Nuclear coming in looking for a potential flanking play as DNK going to get slowed down. Teleport immediately from Nogary to try and get towards this top side. The final chapter is red and it's getting a few snares as well as the Supreme Display of Talent comes in. 5-point strike to get that first kill onto the Gragas.
Celebrity's
but now
alive
Nuclear
though.
has to run away. Nogary going to turn up, but they are just going to try and get out of there. The Twisted Fate is dead and the back is being channeled. It's Celebrity's turn to go down. The pool is in. Goodbye, Tristana and Jat. The biggest jinx so far of the play-in stage. And someone win a pretty comfortable team fight.
We said it might be. I mean, the call still hasn't procced, so the power spike's not there yet. He hasn't
you
cashed
said
in.
we. I didn't say anything like that.
Yeah.
No. This is all on you. This jinxing is all on you, Jat.
And unfortunately, very poorly played team fight by Low-Key. Ornn is not there, and Gragas' ultimate is down, so they have the inability to have a strong disengage, and that just allows Nuclear to flash in, chain roots, they get a double stun, thanks to the Kiana, and then it's really just about getting as much damage down onto Celebrity as possible, and Artifact really way over-aggressive on that turn. It is a 5v3 at that point, which just emboldens the rest of Damwon to go through, and then, of all people the shutdown could go to.
Yeah. And I actually thought that Venus was like channeling a back, which would have been great, but instead that was the Stand United, which got himself killed while standing on top of Celebrity. So, look, that was misexecution. It's okay. Low-Key still have a gold advantage. They still have a huge turret advantage as they've taken out the entire 2 outer rings. Inhibitor turrets are going to be more difficult to hold on to, though, and they have to stray very far into theoretical Dam1 territory in order to get anything done from this point. And Dam1 have set up their topside vision. Look at this. I mean, the Baron's spawning in 30 seconds. Dam1 know exactly where Low-Key are in relation to that objective.
And I think Low-Key should try and fight at the Infernal Drake, and they need to start with this Ornn ultimate. Let's see if they can do it.
Yeah, Ornn comes out, flashed immediately there from Canyon. Good respect, because he's still very squishy on this Kiana. Nuclear dodging out of the wild cards, but he's very kiteable unless the zoomies are on point.
And now I think this is really bad for Low-Key because they don't have the TF ultimate to stop Showmaker. I think Artifact needs to hold his TF ultimate until fights start, not use his engages, which is why they're actually not even going into the river, and it's a double Infernal for Dam1.
Yep, they only have Cast and the Buster Shot, which is just not enough when Stand United is so important, when the Ornhorn is so important, and Artifact, of course, having his Destiny Gate combo on cooldown as well. Looks like moving towards the top side. That's where Celebrity's going to continue trying to get farm on this map. He is 40 CS in the lead from his opposite number, but still 20 behind the clock. There just hasn't been an emphasis on farming this game. Some of the lowest numbers that we've seen so far from a Dam1 game, especially on their side.
Showmaker is roughly keeping up with his pace, and Nagari just didn't get to farm for the first 10 minutes. That's why he bought all the items that'll farm for him.
Yeah. He still has a hat.
How do we get here, man?
I don't know, dude.
He's strong enough. Like, yes, Celebrity is still insanely powerful. Almost 13,000 gold, 20 minutes into the game. But Nagari is just as strong as the other team's soul laners, so...
And Venus might just be dead here, as Canyon has closed the gap, and it's only a matter of a couple of autos. Nuclear just comes in, presses Q, and game plays the Shen to death on his Garen. Garen mechanics have been incredibly impressive, Jat.
Yeah. All those assists he's picked up on the Garen.
Are we going to have that conversation, by the way, about the Garen versus the Mundo?
I mean, we can.
Think Mundo would have been better here?
I haven't seen the Dr. Mundo succeed well. The reason we've talked about it is, personally, I saw Reckless spamming it in solo queue as maybe an alternate to the Garen Yuumi. Theoretically, it's just big melee dude.
Yep.
Yuumi jumps on his back, and then they just run around trying to be tanky.
Yep, and extra healing for a Mundo seems good as well.
One can take Targons, which eventually gets you the Ludens on the Yuumi, and then Yuumi ends up poking. And basically, since the Prowling projectile's range is determined by its proximity to the person that they're on, so in this case it will be Garen, having a fast melee champion is very beneficial. That's why Garen maxing Q and just running around makes the poke so devastating in the Garen Yuumi lane. That's kind of what you're building up towards.
Yeah, I feel like with Mundo, I believe Zoomies more healing the lower health you are as well, so it gives you higher value there. So
and then also you can't poke either of them out that well either, especially once Garen hits level 11 for the later game. But Atlas, this was a 5,000 goal game.
I was trying to distract you.
This is going to be the one. This is going to be what we're... But low-key, you know, they get their first win ever against the LCK.
They still have a composition that can play very comfortable 5v5 team fights and Damwon have a finesse comp, as they generally do. Zero range, need to get the correct flanks, need to get the correct fights, which they were able to get last time, but doesn't mean they're going to get them the entire time. So I wouldn't worry too much. But as far as outplaying in the late game is concerned, Damwon have wrote their name on that particular tactic.
And you know what? In a way, this is going to be a long explanation for something not that important.
Just go for it.
In a way, Nagari benefited from being starved out of the lane and pushed into mid. You know why?
Oh yeah, why?
Because he had the Nomad's Medallion.
Mm-hmm.
Gold coins only drop if an ally is near you and if you're not getting CS. So the fact that he ran into Showmaker's lane and Showmaker said, this isn't your CS, it's my CS, he just gobbled up all those gold coins, and now he's got a faster Sightstone.
It's incredible. So Nagari, what you're saying to me is Nagari is successfully playing support Vladimir.
With 10,000 gold. He is 20 gold behind Showmaker.
Wow.
Do not recommend this. This is not optimal League of Legends.
Do not do this at home,
This is greedy League of Legends, for sure.
Well, now he's got his Spellbinder. Like, Nagari is teamfight ready.
He's strong.
He's straight up teamfight ready. Has his 20% CDR from his items, which is what you need if you're Nagari. Doesn't have Transcendence, so I guess wants another 10% from somewhere else, but beggars can't be choosers. But they're only 1,000 gold behind, Jad.
I know.
Not even.
600. And they have Double Infernal, so based on the stat checks, they're stronger.
Yeah.
In team fights.
This is the world we live in. We're just going to have to continue accepting it. 24 minutes into this game, it's Baron Vision that is the aim here, as we knew that Loki were probably going to be playing some sort of ARAM-y type style, which is exactly what they're doing, but they do have a Twisted Fate in the side lane because he has that Destiny available to him.
Yeah, really low-key needed to be hard-forcing fights the last 10 minutes every time the Ornn ultimate was up, and just going and going and going. Whenever the game slows down like this, it just gets pretty painful.
Manages to gate out. Okay, nicely done. I thought there might be some CC there, but it looks like Canyon was unable to get there in time with the ground-empowered Q. Someone now needing to protect their base. Remember, the first 6 turrets have already been taken by Loki, so if Damwon lose control of one of their side lanes, then it's pretty quick that Celebrity tears through a turret like this. You can see inside track is going to be there. Big combo comes down as the You and Me has to be utilized, and they lose their inhibitor turret, but now maybe Damwon have found their team fight, but the final chapter doesn't quite work. The Ornn looking for the stun, but doesn't get thrown back as Showmaker dives into the backline. Artifact is going to be his target, is now Celebrity. In amongst 4 members, that's not what you want as the hard carry of your team.
Celebrity!
It is, as Nuclear has already gone down. Nagari can't find his way into the fight, has a snipe into the backline onto the Twisted Fate, but look at this Tristana, already able to take down Canyon. Now creating the space as Nagari, he pulled, so Venus is going to get taken down, and now Showmaker and Nagari versus the world. The brand of Damwon Gaming is Celebrity taken down to the GA, and unfortunately, if you go up against these two, you are asking for trouble, and it's a Nagari triple kill to get the ace.
Oh my goodness, low-key feels like they are so close to breaking this game open. They even had the upgraded Infinity Edge
they had the
on
Mega
Celebrity.
Edge.
And because the Turrets and Triss won one team fight, could have actually just won the game. So the margins that Damwon is playing with here are so incredibly thin. But to watch this fight, Gragas gets nothing done. Canyon makes sure of that. And then the rest of the fight is really just about watching Celebrity and whether or not he can get his damage off, and seeing also how Showmaker and Nagari avoid the Triss damage unless they have cooldowns available. So yes, Celebrity is incredibly strong, and he's able to crit Canyon to death right there, but now in this 3v3, it's the pool. Showmaker's sitting back. He weaves an E in at some point here to get Celebrity. As soon as he's in the brush, somehow that doesn't get the minion. That allows them to proc the GA. Otherwise, with how much damage, the Trish has taken the full health bar in a second and a half, maybe 2, but the triple kill goes to Scrooge McDuck. And he also does 5k damage in that team fight.
Scrooge McDuck. Not Ebenezer anymore. We're going to the cartoon version because this shouldn't be real, Jad. This just shouldn't be real. Still 6,000 for Celebrity. He's doing the very best he can. Just doesn't seem to be enough, especially when the rest of his team is so anemic. He's taken every resource on this map, and he did play that last team fight relatively well. I liked how aggressively he jumped in. I liked that he was turning for the opportunistic targets. It's just that feeling of inevitability is coming back, and I feel like Damwon are actually doing this on purpose. Like, they're challenging themselves. They're like, how far behind can we be before we win?
What if we just didn't lane swap thing at all?
What if we just didn't play the first 15 minutes of the game?
The thing is, I actually do feel like they were completely surprised. They would have been actually lackadaisical in their prep, because us casters were expecting Loki to lane swap at some point. And Damwon probably said, well, let's just see. It'll be fine. And I'm sure if they would have lost to it, that they would have had something ready for it in the next game, which we'll probably see in the rest of the series. But it's not looking like they're even going to lose to it, as they pulled from 5,000 gold behind to now 2,500 gold up with a progressively larger Vladimir.
There's something beautifully ironic about a Korean team being surprised by a lane swap. There's a real beauty there, isn't there?
That is.
It all comes full circle, Jat, as we've got a defense of this outer turret that's successful from Loki.
These players are so young.
Yeah.
They just, like, heard tales of lane swaps while they're in, like, grade school.
And Nuggery's like, what? A lane swap? What a terrible meta. I can't style on people 1v1? I would quit the game instantly.
He wouldn't be a top laner.
No, he wouldn't.
There's no way.
He would be a mid laner, definitely. And he already is in one of their games so far, as that's a decent stun onto Honey, but gets to the safety of his outer turret. Relative safety, I might add.
Yeah, 2016 Summer Split is when lane swapping
All of the
away.
Forge Guard looking for Canyon. He is the squishy option, but unable to get there in time and goes invisible. Picking up some of that grass, which is very handy to have in your back pocket. As Beryl looks to be a little bit bored, just you and meing around his team. Is that a bird?
It hasn't built in the Medjais yet, but it's because you rush the Ludens. At this point, they're just poking. This is what you try and do with the Garen Yuumi as much as possible, and then you force Loki to try and engage into Yuumi's great counter-engage.
X-Flash not going to go in. And you can see Damwon are also just playing around the fact that they prepared their side lanes and Loki didn't.
Yeah.
So they get themselves the bottom outer turret. They just have better control of this map. And it's when you can read the living map of League of Legends a little bit better than your opponent in these sort of stages that you see sort of skill gaps like this when it comes to getting through these late games. And it's why Damwon have looked so much stronger, is because in these moments, they know what they need to do, and they play through it with much more aplomb than a lot of these other teams that can be a little bit indecisive. Looking at you, Mega.
And I mean, low-key to get here.
That's
1-1 with Mega, 1-1 with HKA, but now with the Mountain Drake and Triss, they can get this. Will Showmaker catch any? He doesn't even catch a champion with that sweeper.
Yeah, is Canyon actually going to get one?
He has two controllers.
He just takes some water out of the pit. He doesn't know that
something.
There was some Baron blood in there, but he didn't notice, and the Baron is just snuffed. 2 members, and that's all they need. Damwon, they were right there. That's why you can never trust the Rift Scuttler. He'll lie to you. He'll lie to you.
Yep. You may think, well, there was a very brief moment in time where it did show the whole river. But ever since that was fixed, it does not show the whole river, so you can sneak past the edges of it. And stuff like that, Max, makes this series so hard to make statements about.
I know.
Because in a lot of ways, Damwon have looked bad, weak, vulnerable. The early games, not dealing with lane swaps well, actually just fighting the full mid-game team fight composition, 5v5 when they're strong. They're things you shouldn't do. They're fundamentals, they're steps that Damwon is skipping, like keeping vision on the Baron pit and actually even having like a single blue trinket to use, considering they've all gone sweeper for some reason. There's just things you don't see normally.
Like a support doing the most damage in the game.
That's a little more likely for Garen Yuumi.
And
for sure.
Garen Yuumi is
because he's a Ludens, but
you're a little bit funneling more gold into.
Yeah, they've gone 5 sweeper. It's because they have double sightstone. So they're saying that, hey, we have enough wards, we don't need extra trinket.
Wait, has Nuggery actually finished the quest?
Oh yeah, he finished it 22 minutes.
All right,
because he got all those gold coins.
Yeah.
From being
just doesn't have any wards right now, so it's confusing me.
He might actually sell his sightstone now that he's seemingly max items. But he's coming for the TP flank.
Looking for the team fight as Canyon is off to the side as well. Nuggery gets in. He's got the Home Guard enchantment. And there's the Hemo Plague right in there. So much damage, but the exhaust comes in very, very late, and they haven't gone down just yet. The GA is now popped as DNK off to the backside as Showmaker is going to punish him. The fadeaway jump shot on the barrel, but it's straight into the death chamber as now Nuclear gets buster shotted out of there. But how much disengage is remaining? Looks like the answer is enough.
It will buy time, though, for Damwon to get this third Infernal Drake.
Wow.
Bloodthirster being on Celebrity, though, is pretty beneficial for these longer fights in stopping him from being burst out by a full Vlad combo if he's able to get that overshield up.
Yeah, and 6 items when you have the Ornn upgrades as well feels a whole lot better. So that Molten Edge is now going to be helping, given the fact that it's all about sort of item slot efficiency when you're getting into very late game or very bad AD carry territory.
Yeah, just see a standard TP flank, and really Vladimir flanking at this stage in the game just buys time, because you must deal with him. So he burns a Shental, Ornn is just kind of sitting around, he gets a late exhaust. All the while, the rest of Damwon is just kind of playing the rest of the fight, and finally Showmaker finds someone who's isolated. Great job flashing under the cask.
Yeah, uses it as a gap close, I like it. Right. As we come back to live, we've got Canyon diving in onto Venus. Supreme display of talent, locks up Artifact for a little while longer as Nuclear is going to come in. Canyon goes into stealth for a moment as now Nogari's going to find DNK. He's body slamming, trying to get out of there. Meanwhile, 4 versus 2 underneath this inhibitor turret is now taking damage with 2 siege minions. And the Baron just wears off. They're not going to be able to defend for long enough. They haven't lost an inhibitor just yet of Damwon Gaming, but they've lost 8 turrets so far. They're ahead by 3,000 gold, but it looks like this low-key team just don't even know, because they're still playing on the front foot.
It's been a wacky game, Atlas. Celebrity still has the ability to win the game if he's able to have a great team fight, but this Yuumi poke is definitely pushing low-key back.
And they are respecting Nogari so much as well, and you can understand exactly why, especially they're standing 5 members on top of one another. That is the juiciest Teemo Plague that you have ever seen. Someone do push out of their base. They have survived the Baron buff, and they haven't lost an inhibitor yet. But there's only so many more turrets that you can give up now, Jad. They have 3 left.
Yep.
And if you lose those, the game becomes pretty hard to hold on to.
Especially against ADTF, who can just jump in your base and kill them at any moment. Now the question will be, does Loki actually try and do this weird split push where TF snipes inhibitor turrets and they try and make the game really crazy? Or do they just 5v5 team fight and go for champion kills like they're used to doing? And I still think that that's probably what they should be trying to do, but I really want to see Artifact use the TF ult in the middle of a team fight and have them focus down Showmaker and Canyon, the 2 champions that just zip in and out of invisibility in these fights where TF can completely counter them. That's what I feel like Loki needs to try and find a way to do.
Canyon going to throw out that Q, looking for more as Duskblade pops, clears out some vision. The Baron is going to be available in 40 seconds. The fight breaks out now, Damwon should be able to push and win. To be perfectly honest, they have so much extra damage with these 3 Infernals. It looks like Loki understand that. They're not going to allow Damwon to dictate the flow of this game. Going to keep trading some minion waves in this mid lane. Lane's completely even off to the side lanes, but I'd like to see Loki try and get some pressure from there because they do have Artifact, Teleport, and the Destiny available. And of course, Celebrity has his TP available as well. Hani with the Spellbook also able to maneuver back to his TP pretty easily.
Just poking
on the top side. Yeah, exactly. It's all sort of
going
down. And I kind of want to ask you all these questions, Jad, about like, oh, well, if you're in this position, what should you be doing? But I think the rest of this game really does need to be held into account, right?
Yeah.
Because there's just been insanity up until this point. So Damwon are answering the ARAM with another ARAM.
Well, against Ornn TF, if you do split up, it's exactly when Loki's going to want to fight. So if Damwon wants to have an opportunity to clear sideways, they have to be really sure that Loki's not in engage range. So they're kind of pushed into 5v5 based off of the enemy team composition. But with Triple Infernal, they're just they're down for taking a 5v5. And Yuumi is great in close fights like this.
Yeah, look to see Damwon pull away and try and find themselves a peel-off fight. The Baron down to about 6,000.
Also, Damwon has pretty poor Baron damage with no AD carry.
Yeah.
It could be stolen.
Yes, the 50-50 steals it away easily as the final chapter comes in. There's a supreme display of talent, but not exactly the high value that they really wanted to be. And the stone plate from Hani did so much work. No kills. Actually went down, and Damwon, they just lose a Baron. They leash it for their opponents, and now they're trying to get out.
But they can interrupt recalls while Triss tries to push mid. How long can they play this game for? Because Triss would have a chance of ending the game if they had minions. They don't have minions.
They don't, but they are going to be able to take down this inhibitor.
There's, that was close.
Not quite enough, but I really did like the idea. Completely understand your excitement there, Jat. 2,000 gold is still the lead for Damwon as Elder Drake is available and Nogari's teleported here towards this bottom side. Nuclear joins
flash
as well,
ult in the patch fight. He's going to use it here.
Yeah, 4 members turn up in an instant as there's the Hemoplague. Nogari dives on forward. It's another objective secured by this Gragas, but I don't think it's going to be enough as the rest of the fight is being won by Damwon. Showmaker taking matters into his own hands. 5-point strike. Feels like a 50-point strike at the moment as the final chapter comes on in. Celebrity, how many rocket jumps do you have? The answer is 2 right here as Nuclear not going to be able to dive that far as Artifact now is going to fall. The GA not going to keep him alive under that inner turret, and Damwon, they may have lost every objective that they've gone for, but it doesn't seem to matter because 4 people are dead on Low-Key's side of the map.
How many things have to happen for Low-Key to win this game? They have a Baron steal. They have the Elder secure in another 50-50. They had the lane swap. They had the Superfed Triss. They have the inhibitor down. Watching this one more time, Damwon doesn't pull off early enough, and at 1,500 health, the Gragas can solo burst the Baron. Massive plays coming out of DNK to get both of these steals on the Gragas, but then this fight right here again, the Vladimir damage is just going to crush you when you're grouped up like that, but another perfect fight. If they lose this fight, though, the game's over.
Yep. But I mean, honestly, Canyon wasn't there, so that was a pretty comfortable smite there for DNK. The first one, though, Canyon was out of the Baron pit. They were trying to leave it. They did not want to go for that 50-50. So we come back to live. This inhibitor turret is going to go down. They're going to answer the open inhibitor on their side of the map as well. Someone now pull ahead, 5,000 gold. But chat, this is a weird and wonderful series already.
The Ornn ultimate had previously cleared the minions, so Damwon had to wait for this, but now they have 20 seconds of 5v3 against Baron minions, which are actually fairly helpful in these situations, but they're going to try and end the game here, it looks like.
Yep, trying to go for it. 10 seconds until DNK, 7 until Venus. He can get in there with a Stand United as Artifact in a lot of trouble. Nogari gets him with the combo. The final chapter comes in a little bit late, but it is going to be enough as Hani goes down as well. They're actually saving Celebrity until last as Nuclear using that courage to tank up so much of the extra damage. Showmaker was taken down though, and now Nogari needs so many different pulls to try and survive this one. And Celebrity needs a few auto attacks. The taunt was fantastic. Now Canyon into the GA. Celebrity is well and truly cleaning this one up as there's a teleport. They're going for the end of the game as it's only Nuclear and Beryl that are there to try and defend, and Celebrity gets up topside first.
So Baron buff is gone, but if Nuclear and Beryl can't get back, Celebrity would be able to end this game.
Yep.
I think Loki's going to win.
I think they can probably do it as Nuclear is trying his very best. He's got a dead man's plate, but can they actually get there? Remember, super creeps are going to be coming out of this Damwon base, and Nuclear is going to get there relatively
I don't think he can stop him. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. They're really fast.
2 versus 1 as there's another final chapter. Can Nuclear do it? He needs to buy so much time. And the Buster Shot.
Gragas and Shenner here too.
Is doing his best to try and get through. He does go down to his GA, but now DNK has to be dealt with. Beryl is out from the Garen, and they have won the game. Low-Key Esports upset Damwon in game 1.
The VCS take their first win over the LCK in their history here in game 1 of this best of 5.
Oh my God.
That wasn't what we were expecting. I'm going to be completely honest. That was a little bit surprising.
So I was a bit caught for words because I didn't know how to say that wasn't what we were expecting with enough emphasis. Because everything about this game was completely unexpected.
It was bonkers.
Yeah, Loki going for a lane swap. Loki successfully